So today I'm going to do a short video on basically my favorite, let's say, combination workout. This is essentially a full body circuit that incorporates some weights into it, and I think it's one of the most effective ways to train your body. It's a workout that I use quite a bit. I do focus a lot on weights and individual muscle groups, and in order to get large muscles and good muscle definition, you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to do some individual weightlifting, some bodybuilding type weightlifting. But a lot of people aren't really looking for that, especially women. And this is a really good way to kind of get a combination of building muscle, burning fat, kind of doing all of the things, increasing, cardiovascular health, increasing heart health, things like that, kind of all in the same basket. Obviously, you should consult your doctor, make sure that you are healthy enough to do this. This is not medical advice. I'm just giving people my experience and what's worked for me. This is a little bit more advanced. I'd say it's kind of on the level of like an Insanity or a P90X. Certainly people are doing workouts like that. But just make sure that you're in good enough shape to do that. So anyways, it's actually not dissimilar from a P90X or an Insanity, and it's kind of a build your own program. I recommend using weights. I think that the body weight exercises are great, but I think that the weights add, a little bit of, extra muscle stimulation, extra stimulation of some of those chemicals. It's good for hormones, and I think it adds a little bit of a challenge that makes the workout a little bit more effective and efficient. So essentially, what I do is I turn on Spotify, I turn on whatever station that I want to listen to, and then I do each exercise. I do one individual exercise per song. And you got to start with what you're capable of doing. So you may start at 10 minutes, at 20 minutes, something like that. I generally aim for the 40 to 60 minute range. This is very intense cardio weightlifting with I'll tell you how to fit a couple of rest exercises into there, but essentially what I'm doing is I'm doing a cardio, and then I'm doing like a compound type exercise, and then maybe I'll throw in an isolated weight exercise. And I think that's actually a really good cadence to start with, and you can switch it up. Really what you want to do is you want to do things that are going to challenge yourself. Any exercise that you don't like is probably one that you should do. There are some exceptions to that, but if you don't like it because it's hard, it's probably something that's pretty effective to do. Anyways, so when I talk about compound exercises, I'm talking power cleans, I'm talking deadlifts, I'm talking the squat presses. So when you have two dumbbells in your hands, you're squatting down and then you're pressing them up. Anything that's activating multiple muscle groups, squats are a good compound exercise. So one of the things that's pretty effective in this program is you're going to do a lot of leg stuff. I think for upper body and for building upper body, you're really going to want to focus on bodybuilding type workouts. This is not going to necessarily build your upper body, but it's going to help you with tone, with definition. It's going to help you with hormone production. It's going to help you with overall health, and it can help you quite a bit with your legs. You can modify this so that you're focusing on a certain upper body muscle group. It's pretty hard because you're doing 3-minute sets, essentially 3 to 4 minute sets, depending on how long your songs are. And so you have to make sure that you're doing the right weight. You have to be pretty trained in order to be able to handle something like that with one muscle group. But you can do all kind of different types of variations with this. So I told you what the compound exercises are. When it comes to cardio, I'm usually alternating between the stationary bike, and I do shadow boxing with 16-ounce gloves. I like the shadow boxing because a lot of the weightlifting exercises that I'm doing are more leg focused. So if I'm doing something for cardio that's wearing out my legs as well, that can be a challenge. Some of the other things that I'll do is kind of a leg lift jog where I'm tapping my toe on a bench and alternating legs, just kind of like almost like a jog type sprint deal. I'll do some jumps. If you can do box jumps or something like that, that's always nice. Jump on a bench or something like that. You can do burpees. You can do some of the calisthenics type work. You can do jumping jacks. You can do variations of that. You can do high knees running. You can do butt kicks. You can then now to get into some of the resting exercises. You can do standing alternating kicks. You can do alternating leg squats. You can do bicep curls, with a weight that's obviously appropriate for being able to do 3 to 4 minutes of that exercise. And you just keep, circulating these. You'll probably get worn out pretty quickly at first, and then you kind of build up to being able to do this for 40 to 60 minutes. 20 to 40 is probably fine for a normal person. I'm pretty intense when it comes to my workouts, so I like to go 40 to 60 minutes. That's definitely going to be more on the advanced side, but they say that if you get your heart rate up for 20 minutes, that's good for a cardio workout. I might aim for 20 to 40 minutes as a goal. Again, talk to your doctor, make sure that you're healthy enough to do this. I'm not going to be responsible for anybody, pushing beyond their limits. You got to know what your limits are. But this is a pretty effective workout. I like to do it. I like to make sure that I'm taking the right supplements with it too. If you want to do fat burning supplements, if you want to do supplements that help you liberate energy, things like carnitine, things for blood flow are always good. Citrulline, arginine, anything that's going to increase your nitric oxide, that's always helpful. As opposed to a bodybuilding workout where you might be trying to build muscle, specifically, I would say that carbing up before or after probably isn't the best way to go. But again, that's something that you need to figure out for yourself and make sure that you're doing it safely. I think this is a really good mix of strength training as well as cardio. Good for circulation, kind of good for everything in the body, and it's a good way to get really quick results. And I'll post some videos in the near future with some modifications to stuff like this. Maybe I'll post some videos of me doing the workouts with some examples. Hopefully that helps everybody. And again, talk to your doctor, make sure you're healthy enough to do this stuff. But hopefully this is helpful.